Good evening. Welcome to your show, that's Coffee with Kanika, unapologetically vocal. So how are you all doing? So nice to see people joining in. As you sign in, please do let me know you're from which country, you are from which city. I welcome you all. So it's so nice to see people joining in, and please do let me know you're from which country and you're from which city. And I think we are building some great rapport, because when I see people join in every Saturday, so there is some beautiful bond that we are building with each other. And to the people who are joining in for the first time, I want to share with you, Coffee with Kanika is a positive platform on mental health, where you can share your thoughts, you can express your feelings, you can be vocal about yourself, and nobody is going to judge you or label you. So it's a platform to express, not impress. And as you sign in, please do let me know you're from which country, you're from which city. And this is a platform where anything which is bothering you, you want to vent it out. So this is a platform where you can do it. I have created this platform for you, and I'm getting a lot of acknowledgement and recognition from people. They are really appreciating Coffee with Kanika talk show. So that's really amazing, and that's great. And today our guest for the show is Dr. Sanjana. She is a clinical psychologist, and she has an experience of good 13 years. She has been an ex-consultant for Max Hospital, and a wonderful psychologist. So I thought that today our talk show topic is self-acceptance. And I truly believe, as a psychologist, self-acceptance plays a very important role for the emotional well-being. And today we are going to address this topic. So as you sign in, do let me know you're from which country, you're from which city, and do ask us the questions, because this is a talk show where you can actually ask us anything which is in your mind, where anything which is bothering you, and you are here to vent out your feelings and to express yourself. Because a lot of times I see people really want to express themselves, but they don't get a right platform. So I have created this platform for you guys, and as you sign in, do let us know anything that's bothering you. And today's the session is going to be really amazing. So without taking much time, I'm going to invite Dr. Sanjana. Hi, Dr. Sanjana. How are you?
I'm very well, Kanika. Thank you. How are you?
I'm doing great. And actually, it's so nice to see you, on our live talk show, Coffee with Kanika. So thank you so much for, taking the invitation and taking out your precious time and coming for the live talk show. And today our topic for, live talk show is self-acceptance. So I truly believe that self-acceptance plays a very important role for the emotional well-being. And a lot of times it happens that we try to, seek the validation from the society, but how important it is to self-accept yourself. Last time we were, we are highlighting, as a psychologist, I'm working on this, and I'm trying to enrich positive psychology. And last competency of R was kindness. And I believe that self-acceptance is a result of being kind to your own self. So what do you think? How important is the self-acceptance for the mental wellness and for the emotional well-being?
So it is a very, very important component, I would say. And with self-acceptance, the first step to having any form of self-acceptance is compassion for yourself. We see that we would want to exercise compassion for others, but if we don't have it for ourselves, we really can't do it for the others as well. So compassion being the first step, and if there is no self-acceptance, what happens, there tends to be a sense of incongruence. You don't recognize who you really are. And when you don't recognize who you really are, and you try to be something or someone else, or try to meet too many expectations via comparison, that's when we see that psychological distress also tends to creep in. So self-acceptance means also compassion, being true to yourself, and letting go of as many comparisons as you can eventually.
So the people who have, live with us, Do let us know any question that is in your mind, and if you believe in self-acceptance as well, so type yes. And for you, how important is the self-acceptance? Do give your response in the comment section and type yes for us. Doctor, I have seen like, a lot of times it happens that, in our society, there is a big war of, social acceptance is people are, really look up to. So I always try to understand it. I would like to share with you my own good example of today. So in the morning when I woke up today, so I went to the restroom and I looked at myself, and I always do that. I give a beautiful smile to myself and I was like, you're looking cute today. Like, so a lot of times it happens that, people are seeking a lot of social acceptance from the people. And if they are not getting, so that seeks to the mental illness. It is a research of WHO. And
Yes.
this is one of the recent research of WHO. So how one should be able to, focus the energy more on self-acceptance and rather than on social acceptance?
Okay, so as far as social acceptance is concerned, one should start by defining who do they truly want, with what kind of people and who do they want in their own social circle. Two, what is the area of self-respect that you have? And comparing the two, I feel when you have that kind of self-respect, you say that, okay, this is not the boundary I'm going to cross anymore for anyone, and I'm going to keep this personal and to myself. And when I see myself crossing that boundary, it tends to hurt me and it tends to cause me distress. So let me not do it. And if I need to cross certain boundaries for my inner circle people, which I spoke about right in the beginning, will I be able to tolerate that distress? Does that help me to nurture my relationship? Is it worth it in the long term? Then yes. So when we realize that we are here, one, to look after ourselves, two, to look after our inner circle, and not to please the rest of the world, which is constantly asking us at times to compromise on our sense of self-respect, that's when we realize that, okay, it's not going to be so hard and we don't need to engage in constant social comparison.
Great. So guys, if you have any questions from Dr. Sanjana, so please do ask us in the comment section. She's there for you all. And do you think that social acceptance leads to mental illness?
Lack of social acceptance, you mean? Yeah. It's a part of it. It can function as a big stressor when someone is trying to fit in, and we all are trying to fit in some way or the other, right? We're constantly striving to fit into our work circles, into our family life, in whatever role. So if there's a fallout in that acceptance area, then yes, it can work as a huge precipitating stress factor, and it can result in all kinds of problems, ranging from depression, anxiety, and body image, all kinds of issues.
Because recently, we have seen that there is a big discussion going on that, the people who have recently, we have seen in June month, people have committed suicide, and one of a big celebrity as well. And there has been a lot of discussions going on that he was seeking a lot of, validation, being a big star. He was looking forward to a lot of validation, and that was actually a very thought-provoking, and that's how, this topic came into my picture, and that I was like, this needs to be addressed, because this is somewhere in the subconscious mind where people don't talk about these competencies in a very vocal manner, and they need to be very rightly addressed. So being a big star, when you're seeking for a validation from others, so what about the common people? So it is also, very important that you need to be validate, yourself, where you are going. You should be really aware about what are your strengths, what are your weaknesses, what are your, what are your good qualities, what are your traits, what you are best at. A lot of times it happens when we fail, or there is a failure at a task, so we we try to say that we are responsible for it. So all these factors leads to a big mental stress and mental illness.
Yes.
So I really appreciate your that point where you see that we need to really find out the people for the social acceptance is also very important, but at the same time it's very important that from whom we are seeking social acceptance
And how much you're willing to let go of for the others. There has to be a limit to how much we're willing to compromise and how much we're willing to give away, and when we should make it stop.
Okay, I think when we were conversing, there were a few questions that had come in mind, so I would like to address them simultaneously. So, what we need to do to accept ourselves with all the flaws? Okay. So this is one of the questions that has come forward. So, what we need to do to accept ourselves with all the flaws? We all have the flaws in life. I mean, I think that nobody is perfect. Maybe
Nobody
you at any profession. Or nobody can be as well. You may be in any of the profession at any stage of life. You can be a big celebrity, any person, but nobody is perfect. So how to accept with all our flaws?
So when we say that if we're looking for perfection, one, we don't even know what perfection is. It's a very ambiguous term which is loosely defined and thrown in our society, I think, since the day we were born, and we're growing up in our families. Our parents and extended family members expect things from us. But the fact of the matter is that instead of looking at what is good or what is bad in us, the first point to start looking at is that we are human. And what defines us to be human? Humans mean that we are infallible beings. We have good pluses and minuses. And no matter how hard we try, just that we cannot take out the minuses out of our personality, we really don't take out the pluses either. So it's about eventually giving more preference to the pluses, working on them, and if the minuses exist, let them. No matter what anyone may project, and if someone's doing well, they've continued to work and nurture their positives. So the idea is to keep nurturing that, and to always realize we are all fallible, and to first, being a man, a woman, a career person, a homemaker, first learn to value yourself as a human being. So that's the first important step. And with that will come compassion.
Wonderful. I truly believe when you accept yourself, when you value yourself, the world values you. So it's very important to, first accept yourself and value yourself as a human being is very, very important. And there is something, some questions are coming in it. Okay. Let me just. Okay. So somebody has mentioned is that you should not be over ambitious. Do you think that over-ambitiousness also leads to some kind of a mental illness or in a person? I think this COVID era has taught us the value of ourselves. Okay, yes, I do agree with this.
So,
thank you, Kamal ma'am.
Everybody is different. Everybody is different. So, for some people, being over-ambitious would suit their personality more. For others, it would go against it. There's some people who like to be over-ambitious, are overly driven, and that's how they like their life. So it's all right. But eventually your body tends to start giving you signals that you need to slow down. Even when you're over-ambitious, you need to watch out for your cues in your body when it's telling you to slow down, when your mind is telling you to slow down. There's nothing wrong. Everybody.
Yeah, so, but then I truly believe that the balance is very important. And I think a very important point has been shared by you, that your body actually gives you the signals. We don't try to, at times try to ignore them mentally and physically, considering, because we are, in that, in our own zone of achieving our goals in life. But then the body definitely gets the signal. And I think all the people who are live with us will really agree with it. So if you agree with this, please do type yes. And do ask us any questions that are in your mind. Coffee with Kanika platform is for you guys. It's a platform on mental health awareness where you can express yourself, you can vent out your feelings, you can be vocal about yourself. and nobody is going to judge you or label you. So it's a platform to express, not impress. And as you are here, so it is a good opportunity for you. So anything that's in your mind, I am sure as a psychologist, some of the other thoughts are running in your mind. So don't let them run from the left hemisphere to the right hemisphere. Do ask us the questions and do vent out your feelings. So don't leave the talk show with some queries or the questions that are in your mind, and then you must be wondering about the answers from them. This is a platform created for you guys. So please do ask us any questions that are in your mind, because I have a lot to offer you. Dr. Sanjana is here for you. So just don't listen, engage, involve, and participate. And just leave her with a positive spirit, so that your weekend is very very fun filled based. And doctor, one more thing I wanted to discuss with you, that I have because I am also in meditation and yoga, and been into the psychological practice from good 13 years. Meditation plays a very important role in self-acceptance, to uplift your self-acceptance.
Yeah, it does. And not only meditation, but if you've heard of mindfulness, the practice of
mindfulness,
being in the moment and accepting the moment as it is. Simple daily task, if you're engaged in something, we're always thinking, okay, what next is supposed to happen, or how am I doing it? Am I brushing my teeth right? Or if I'm showering, I'm thinking, oh, I have the next meeting to attend. These few times in the day when you can spend time just to be with yourself, just with the sensations, just be grounded in what you're doing, minus judgment of how you're doing it or what's going to happen next. It helps to foster that sense of acceptance, lower your sense of tendency to worry and be apprehensive. It gives you time to slow down. And I think this is what COVID has taught us, that we need to slow down.
We need to slow down. We need to pause. We need to understand. We need to be in that conscious zone, which probably I think in this, fast world, people were actually missing it out. And very important point you have read, that we being in the present zone, we are always thinking out what next So to accept ourselves in the present moment is very important. There are few of the questions are also striking. How to boost confidence in kids and teens as they live in their own shells?
Okay, so that's a long one, that how to boost confidence. One is learn to accept your kids for who they are. They're different. Just because there are children, I'm also a mother. Just because we have children doesn't mean that they have to be like us, or they have to share personalities or thoughts like ours. They are born and they are individuals in their own right. So we begin first by accepting that. What we can do is that in the early years, we can start by offering them choices. And it's up to them, it's up to us to guide them that which choice leads them where. But eventually, it's up to them what they pick. And when they pick that, they need to go through the natural consequences. So two places we tend to falter. One, we tell them what to do, instead of them asking them to make informed choices. Two, when they fall, we keep protecting them for smaller things. We need to tell them we have your back no matter what would happen. But somewhere they need to face natural consequences, and then they learn to fight on their own. And they develop skills, and that's how you build confidence, through skills.
Also, I think it's very important, because what's happening, COVID has definitely taught us many lessons of, best lessons of life. I think the tough time, or the crucial time, is actually the best time of life, because that teaches you a lot of the best lessons. And in this phase, I have seen that especially it's with the kids and adolescents, that they are not able to handle the adverse situations of life. They try to give up very easily. And in this case, how to boost the confidence, as you have very rightly said, that natural consequences will definitely happen. Uncertainty is a part of life. We need to tell them that the backbone, we are there, but let them make their own efforts. Let them choose their own paths is very important. And accept your child the way your child is, because a lot of times we try to compare our child with the other person. You know, there this comparison and the competition that we try, normally I have seen it in the environmental, you know, the parents try to do is leads to being a very negative impact for the kids as well. Because, and I think this question is being asked by you know, my own teacher, and she has knows very well that at a school level my confidence was very low. And today, ma'am, you have yourself seen the how the growth happens it. So let the child, as very rightly said by Dr. Sanjana, let the child you know, attain their own paths in life, and the natural consequences will happen. People will you know, the kids will fall down. The more they'll fall down, the more best lessons they'll learn it, and they will be able to understand that how to face the realities of life. Ma'am, it's normal to feel low most of the time without any reason. Is it normal? Is it normal?
No, it's not normal. It's not normal. So whoever's asking me this question at this point, please reach out, seek help, because it's okay to go through regular ups and downs in terms of it's normal to feel sad. But if you're feeling low on a chronic regular basis, on a day-to-day basis for some time, please reach out and take help, whether you take help from a psychiatrist for medication, or you reach out to clinical psychologists for help. But go ahead. Please do not wait for this to get worse, because it's not about people telling you that try, use your willpower, it will get better. At times, we all need external help, and it's all right. And there are people out there without judgment to do that for you.
Also, there is, you know, one very important question that has struck in mind, because this is something very importantly addressed, that it is not normal to feel low most of the time without reason. So you don't have a reason and you are upset, you are sad, you are having anxiety or panic attacks. So you really need to seek out help from a psychologist and find out why that's happening. But also, I see that a lot of times when people are going through any kind of a mental you know, illness, it's very hard for them to accept it, that you know, this has happened with me. And we try to consider you know, no, I am pretty okay. As you have very rightly said, don't try to ignore it, and don't try to consider, you know, your willpower can handle or make it all right. So seeking and help from a psychologist or a psychiatrist is as normal as going to a doctor for a physical health. However, I think this is something that really needs to be addressed with the people, because I see a lot of times people, when they are going through any kind of stress or anxiety, or any kind of you know, slight mental illness, it's very hard for them to accept it, that you know, that's happening with them, or they try to even you know, ignore it, considering it will be all right, apne aap theek ho jayega. So how would you like to highlight this particular thing? And you know, what happens is, I have seen it as a psychologist, then this you know, slight mental illness turns out to be at a moderate stage, and from a moderate to a severe level. And then I always talk about early intervention, better the cure.
Yes, better the intervention, definitely. And this is all to do with the stigma and the lack of, it's not only the stigma, it's the lack of information that is available to people out there. They feel that you go to a psychologist or you go to a psychiatrist if you're undergoing a severe mental illness. That's not the case. Anybody, if you're struggling from any form of trauma, or you're struggling with your job, there's no harm in getting an objective perspective and renewing your coping skills with a professional. So I think as a society, and even for us mental health professionals like you and me, whoever we're doing, whatever, it's become imperative that, one, we destigmatize, two, we spread as much awareness as possible that you don't have to have even a set diagnosis to be in therapy. It could just be a life struggle. It could just be a conflict.
Very true.
Now, me being a clinical psychologist,
right.
Yeah, and it's mandatory for them to undergo therapy. And at each point, it's recommended, even for us as therapists, to seek out help at a given point of time. So there's nothing wrong. You could just be struggling. It's all right. And any form of anxiety, depression is something that can be treated. It's not a permanent problem that's going to take you down in life.
Very true. And I think very rightly said, seeking a help is as normal as, going to a doctor when you are having any kind of a physical, problem. And one should be very vocal about it in terms of their mental health. So, spreading an awareness, and also through this I also want to address one very important concern that happens in the society, is that when a person is going through any kind of an illness, so whether it's your family, friends, people around you, you really need to accept the person the way the person is. A lot of times I have seen it, when there is a physical health problem, the person is provided the extra care, lot of a lot of love, a lot of support is being provided. But when a person is going through mental illness, so everybody is like, oh अपने आप ठीक हो जाएगा, ऐसे so ऐसे नहीं होता, आपकी प्रॉब्लम ज्यादा खराब हो जाती है, because if you are not able to handle that thing, you really need to address a psychologist, and you need to cure it. And in that case, it's very important here where I would like to talk about social acceptance. Here plays a very important role. So where the right people, as doctor has very rightly said, the social acceptance from the right people plays a very important role. You talk about your your feelings and what you are going through with the people around you, and they need to accept you the way you accept the physical health problem. What do you think on this important concern, which is often ignored in the society?
Yeah, so we say that part of the treatment of any form of psychological, say, disorder, disturbance, is we always assess how is the support system. And the support system being your close family and your friends. And there's a section where we educate them that this is this is how you should be interacting with your family member or your friend. So a non-judgmental stance on their end also, for sometimes, an acceptance that their family member or a friend is struggling, is very important, and it goes a long way in their recovery.
So one thing I always repeated, that mental health is as normal as physical health. So it is not something going to... Pardon?
It's as important. It's as important. We fail to recognize it now. Huh?
Yeah, because happiness is something that you have is essential. You have a right towards it. You cannot have a struggleful life, and you need to accept it, the things the way they are, and seek and help from a professional, so that you don't have to struggle with your with your thoughts, with your feelings, like. And guys, if you have any question, do ask us in the comment section. We are there to answer you. And if you believe that mental health is as normal as physical health, so type yes, and do ask us any questions that are in your mind. So doctor, where is your coffee?
So it's right here.
Okay, that's nice. Like,
yeah.
So what do you think, that how important is the the power of self-acceptance in the society, and what we should do to increase our power of self-acceptance?
I said it at the beginning. I still feel that it's compassion. It's compassion. It's letting yourself be for some time. It's about understanding that you're a fallible human being. You will make mistakes. There will be certain things in your life you won't be able to fix. But there will be certain things which you will continue to have power over, which are your actions and your thoughts and your feelings and how you choose to react to situations. So when we start taking hold of what we can do, and that we also have the agency, and how much is that agency, is when it starts going a long way. So acceptance, one, of yourself, acceptance, two, of the situation at hand, both will run hand in hand. Trying to be someone else is, and trying to achieve what is against your personality, what is against your skill set, is not going to be helpful.
Great. So somebody has written healthy, Kawal ma'am, healthy body lies in healthy mind. So mental health is more important. I think, in this space of COVID-19, people are really realizing it that mental health is more important than the physical health.
Yeah, they're saying even WHO has come to the conclusion that it's going to have overarching consequences. Mental health, which has continued to be neglected. We feel it's neglected in India, but the US has come to recognize that how much it has been neglected there as well. So you can imagine the consequences that it's having at this point with the uncertainty and isolation.
And that's the reason, every year, 1 in 4 people suffer from mental illness. And if you see the data and the facts, they are so shocking, even for a psychologist like us, that every 40 seconds a person commits suicide. So that's basically a more alarm for everyone. So that's an alarm call for everyone to understand that we really need to take care of our mental health, take care of our mental well-being, and we really need to work and invest ourselves for the mental health.
True.
Also one important factor, but WHO also shared this fact that 60% of the people, they don't talk about their mental illness because of the fear of being judged, labeled, and how society is going to take me or will consider me, mental, and they are going to give some kind of a label or a stigma to me. So how do you think that, because I'm really glad that you have come on the show where we are talking about and spreading the awareness about mental health. So when I started with Coffee with Kanika talk show, is basically a positive platform to spread mental health awareness where people can express themselves, they can be vocal about themselves, they can vent out their feelings, and they can be very vocal about themselves. So it's a platform to express, not impress. So how do you, as a society, we should, overcome with this kind of where people are being judged or labeled when they go through any kind of a mental illness? I think that the awareness is playing a very important role where people are actually considering it. And now when I get a lot of reviews and recognition from the people that yes, we are really vocal about it, we express our feelings to the people when we are having any kind of ill feeling, and they are seeking the help from the psychologist. But then this really needs to be addressed. So as a professional and as an expert, how do you think that this particular situation can be handled, which is running at a worldwide level?
Worldwide level, this can be done only through more awareness initiatives, and that's all that can be done at this point, going from and destigmatizing, like I've said before, the matter. The more we talk, the less stigma it attaches to itself, and the more inhibitions are shed from it, because then, here we come back to acceptance. We see that the larger society is talking about it, everybody is addressing it, so maybe there's not much of a stigma there.
So people are accepting it.
Yeah. So one is the sense of communication of that feeling. Two is through information, you also tend to destigmatize the matter. So if more people talk, more people take up initiatives like yours on platforms like Instagram, Facebook, I think people are going to feel safer in approaching someone.
Very nice. Yeah. Very true.
Yeah.
Very true. Very, very rightly said that person needs to feel safe, and these initiatives and awareness are really going to help us. And people are really realizing it that the mental health is more important than the physical health. I truly believe that the balance of both plays a very important role for a
Yes.
healthy body and a healthy mind.
Hmm.
So,
True.
guys, if you have any questions, do ask us. And if you agree with us, type yes. Great. So, Doctor, anything that you would like to address to the people, because this is going to be, this live talk show is going to be shared on different platforms. So, um, any last message that you would like to give to the people?
Yeah, it's just stay safe, stay strong. It's only a matter of time. This is not a permanent situation that we find ourselves in, but yes, it is very new. It's asking us to adapt with all that we are left with. It's compromised our coping resources for now, but human beings are inherently resilient. And it's only through this resilience is that we've managed to surpass and come strong to wars, to other pandemics. So if we've done it before, we can do it again. Resilience is not about that you don't fall. It's not about that you don't feel bad. It's not about that you don't go through depression. But it's about how quickly and with how much um, grit you manage to stand back up in the face of adversity.
Yes.
So it's all right if you're sad, it's all right if you're struggling. Allow yourself that space, but come back up and readjust. Find innovative ways. I think we all need to.
I think that has been a wonderful message, and I, at the end, would just like to say one good thing, that when you accept yourself, the world accepts you. So that was really great to have you on our show, and that
Thanks
has
for
been a
having me.
wonderful interaction. And thanks for sharing the wonderful information. I think that's going to be really helpful for the people who are going to watch our, the live talk shows video, and this is going to really help them. And guys, thank you so much for joining it today. And the people who have just joined it, I am going to share the live talk show video on IGTV, so you can watch the video over there. And any questions that you have with us, you can write it in the comment section. We are going to address it. So thank you so much, and I'm going to see you next Saturday on your show, that is Coffee with Kanika. So stay positive and stay strong. Thank you.
Thanks. Thank you.